4,000-year-old mystery. How were pyramids built? It's a question many have asked. Or did aliens help them? We've seen all sorts of theories, but it looks like scientists finally have the answer. The granite box inside the Great Pyramid is too large to fit through any passage leading to it. It was sealed inside during construction, meaning no body could ever be placed there. We have called this a tomb for 4,000 years. But here is the catch. AI just revealed what it actually was, and it changes everything we thought we knew. Greater than about ancient power. The machine that learned to see. When Grock AI turned its analytical systems toward the pyramids of Giza, it was not approaching the mystery the way human researchers had for generations. Archaeologists tend to specialize. Egyptologists study hieroglyphs. Geologists examine stone composition. Astronomers map celestial alignments. Each expert sees one piece of a puzzle that spans thousands of years and dozens of disciplines. They defend their theories. They protect their academic reputations. They get trapped in debates that circle the same ground for decades. When they actually penetrated this small door, they found a hidden room within the pyramid. Egyptologists are very much fond of saying that pyramids are tombs and that they have been robbed at some point in the past. Grok had none of these limitations. It absorbed everything. High-resolution satellite imagery, cosmic ray moon scans that could peer through solid stone, ground-penetrating radar data revealing hidden chambers, chemical analyses of ancient mortar that modern science still cannot replicate, forgotten academic papers collecting digital dust in obscure archives, fringe theories dismissed by mainstream scholars, geological surveys, astronomical calculations, three-dimensional mapping projects that took human teams years to complete. All of it. Every fragment, every contradiction, every uncomfortable anomaly that researchers had quietly set aside because it did not fit the narrative. Then Grok did something no human expert could do. It looked at all this data simultaneously, without ego, without bias, without any need to defend a position. It only cared about one thing: consistency. Where did the evidence actually point? Where were the gaps in the official story? Where had assumptions been mistaken for facts? And those gaps were glaring. From the astonishing precision of the pyramid's alignment with true north, accurate to within 0.05 degrees, to the strange emptiness of its supposed burial chambers, to the unexplainable scale of its construction, it was as though the traditional narrative had been stitched together with tape, held in place because no one dared to pull at the loose threads. Perfect 90-degree corners like 100-ton granite. Boxes, they're insane, but Grok pulled at them anyway. The traditional narrative, pyramids as elaborate tombs for god-kings seeking eternal life, was not just incomplete. It was riddled with contradictions, so glaring that Grok flagged them immediately. Contradictions that human researchers, greater than, had either ignored, explained away, or simply chosen not to see. And in those contradictions, something far darker began to emerge. The empty throne. Let us examine what should have been the most magnificent burial chamber in human history. The king's chamber inside the Great Pyramid of Khufu sits at the heart of the world's most ambitious construction project. 3 million stone blocks, some weighing as much as 80 tons, were quarried, transported, and placed with astonishing precision. Workers would have needed to set one block every 2 minutes for over 20 years. The base is almost perfectly level, across a span the size of multiple football fields. Its four sides aligned to the cardinal directions with an accuracy of 0.05 degrees. All of this, supposedly, for a tomb. But when you step inside the king's chamber, you find almost nothing. The walls are bare. No colorful murals depicting the pharaoh's triumphs. No religious inscriptions guiding his soul to the afterlife. No hieroglyphs of any kind. Just smooth, undecorated granite, surrounding an empty stone box that we call a sarcophagus, only because we cannot imagine what else it might have been. Compare this to nearly every other Egyptian tomb ever discovered. The Valley of the Kings overflows with painted walls, golden artifacts, and mummified remains, even minor nobles, were buried with elaborate decorations, celebrating their lives. The Egyptians were obsessed with filling tombs with everything the deceased might need in the next world. So, why would the greatest pharaoh of them all be buried in a room so empty it feels abandoned? Archaeologists have always blamed tomb robbers, but that explanation has a problem. The sarcophagus is too large to fit through the passageways. It was during construction, before the pyramid was sealed. If this was truly a burial vault, why make it physically impossible to remove the centerpiece? And here is the detail that should keep you awake tonight. Nearly every major pyramid from Egypt's Old Kingdom shows the same pattern. Empty chambers, missing mummies, bare walls and structures that supposedly represented the pinnacle of funerary architecture. But here is the catch. The tomb robber explanation works for one pyramid, maybe two, but all of them, what if they were never tombs at all? If you are new here and wondering what else has been hiding in plain sight, hit subscribe. We uncover these mysteries every week. What lies beneath the stone? For centuries, explorers believed they had mapped every corridor and chamber inside the Great Pyramid. The passages were narrow, claustrophobic, and seemingly led nowhere interesting. Case closed. Then modern technology proved them catastrophically wrong. In 2017, the Scan Pyramids project deployed cosmic ray Mun detectors around the Great Pyramid. These devices track particles raining down from space, passing through solid matter at different rates depending on density. Dense stone blocks the particles. Empty space lets them through. Mehdi Tayyubi's team watched the data appear on screen. The room went silent. A completely unknown corridor, over 30 feet long, hidden near the main entrance. No human being had entered this space in thousands of years. Its existence had been completely invisible from outside. But that was only the beginning. Ground-penetrating radar uncovered additional anomalies, voids appearing in locations no one expected, forming shapes too precise to be natural accidents or construction errors. In 2002, a tiny robot crawling through one of the pyramid's mysterious shafts encountered something extraordinary. A team of engineers uses a remotely operated camera in an attempt to discover the true function of what is believed to be an air shaft. A small stone door fitted with copper handles blocking access to yet another sealed chamber. The operator leaned forward, heart pounding. After 3,000 years of silence, something was still blocking the way. Behind that door, imaging suggested yet another sealed space. What was important enough to hide? What was dangerous enough to seal away forever? Egyptian authorities have repeatedly delayed further exploration. Some claim they are protecting fragile structures. Others whisper that what lies behind those sealed doors might challenge narratives too important to risk. Whatever the reason, the mystery remains intact. Tantalizingly close to revelation, yet frustratingly out of reach. But here is the catch. Those shafts do not serve any ventilation purpose. Modern analysis proves they would be completely useless for moving air. Instead, they point with remarkable precision towards specific stars. Orion's Belt, Sirius, constellations central to Egyptian mythology about death, rebirth, and cosmic order. Grok connected these anomalies in a way human researchers never had. The hidden voids were positioned where they would reduce structural weight without disrupting acoustic resonance. The shafts functioned as alignment tools, not air channels. The sealed doors were not construction quirks, but intentional components. Components of a larger system designed to do something. The river that vanished. To understand the pyramids as machines, you first need to understand where they were built and why that location mattered. For centuries, the Giza plateau seemed absurdly impractical for construction on this scale. Miles of empty desert stretching in every direction. No obvious water source. No apparent way to transport millions of tons of stone across the barren landscape. How could anyone build the largest structures in the ancient world in the middle of nowhere? Then geologists made a discovery that changed everything. Sediment core samples revealed that during pyramid construction, a massive branch of the Nile River flowed directly past the site. Not a small stream, a wide, navigable channel capable of carrying enormous barges loaded with granite blocks weighing 70 tons. Ancient murals suddenly made sense. Depictions of workers hauling stones onto boats were not artistic imagination. They were documentation. But Grok pushed the analysis further. Water was not just transportation. In Egyptian cosmology, the Nile represented the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Its annual flooding brought destruction and renewal simultaneously, making it the heartbeat of Egyptian civilization and mythology. By positioning the pyramids alongside this sacred artery, the builders embedded their structures into the symbolic and functional lifeblood of their world. And here is where physics meets mythology. Flowing water generates subtle vibrations. It can produce weak electrical fields, especially when passing beneath mineral-rich formations. Combine this with the unusual properties of the pyramid's carefully selected materials, and a disturbing picture forms. The ancient river was not merely a highway for barges. It was a power source, part of a much larger environmental mechanism that we are only beginning to understand. Stones that hum. When Grok examined the pyramid's building materials, it found a pattern too precise to be coincidental. The main body was constructed from nummulitic limestone, dense material packed with fossilized shells from an ancient seabed turned to stone. Modern analysis shows this limestone carries subtle conductive properties, making it far more than simple building material. Deeper inside, the builders switched to granite transported over 600 miles from Aswan. Granite is not just durable, it contains high concentrations of quartz crystals, and quartz exhibits piezoelectric properties, meaning it generates electrical charges when pressure is applied. Think about that for a moment. The immense weight of the pyramid, millions of tons pressing down continuously, created perfect conditions for piezoelectric effects in those granite-lined chambers. The structure was not passive. It was generating energy simply by existing. Then came the exterior casing. In ancient times, the pyramid was sheathed in highly polished Tura limestone, so reflective that early writers described it glowing like a star under the desert sun. From miles away, the structure would have appeared almost supernatural, a brilliant beacon dominating the horizon day and night. Even the mortar deepened the mystery. Chemical analysis revealed compounds unlike anything in modern construction, incredibly durable, resistant to water, so stubborn that scientists today cannot fully replicate them. Some researchers now believe portions of the pyramid were not carved at all, but cast using an early form of geopolymer concrete. And scattered throughout specific sections, trace amounts of metals like iron and nickel positioned almost as if deliberately placed to enhance conductivity. Every material, the conductive limestone, the piezoelectric granite, the reflective casing, the mysterious mortar was selected not for appearance, but for function. The pyramid was not a monument. It was a resonating system quietly humming with potential. We are only beginning to understand. How did builders 4,000 years ago understand piezoelectric properties? How did they develop mortar formulas modern chemists cannot crack? Either they discovered these properties through centuries of trial and error that left no archaeological trace, or they inherited knowledge from a source we have yet to identify. Neither answer is comforting. The machine of belief. So, what was the ultimate function? But here is the catch. Grok's answer was both fascinating and deeply disturbing. Control. Consider what these structures meant to an ancient Egyptian farmer. The brilliant white pyramid rising above the desert was not impressive. It was overwhelming. Under the sun, it shone like a second star. Under moonlight, it glowed with eerie luminescence. Its scale defied comprehension. In a world driven by fear and survival, such a structure was not architecture. It was psychological weaponry carved into stone. Inside the chambers, rituals performed in acoustically tuned rooms created sensations that felt genuinely supernatural. Low-frequency vibrations pulsing through granite walls, dramatic interplay of darkness, greater than, and torchlight in claustrophobic corridors, shafts aligned with stars associated with gods and the afterlife. In 2019, acoustic researcher John Stuart Reid stood inside the king's chamber and activated a tone generator. The walls began to vibrate. The air itself seemed to thicken. Reid later described feeling as though the room was alive, pressing against his chest with each pulse. His equipment measured resonant frequencies that modern concert halls spend millions trying to replicate. The ancient builders had engineered them 4,000 years ago. Imagine an ancient worker brought inside for the first time. The darkness absolute. Then the priests begin their chanting. The granite starts to hum. The air presses inward. In that moment, standing in a space designed to overwhelm every human sense, there would be no room for doubt. The divine was real. The pharaoh's power was cosmic, and resistance was unthinkable. These elements worked together to create an environment where participants did not just believe they were touching the divine, they physically felt it. Priests standing at the center of this engineered experience could seem more than human. Conduits between heaven and earth, vessels filled with cosmic power that ordinary mortals could only glimpse. None of this was accidental. It was propaganda built from stone, mathematics, and acoustic engineering. The pyramids merged belief, authority, and natural forces into one unquestionable story. The pharaoh was not merely a king. He was the mediator of the cosmos. The pyramid was undeniable proof of his divine connection. To oppose this system was not opposing a government. It was challenging the universe itself. For generations, this arrangement worked flawlessly. Citizens did not merely obey because they feared punishment. They obeyed because they were convinced, deep in their bones, that the cosmic order depended on their submission. It was the most sophisticated propaganda machine ever constructed, and it ran for thousands of years. The weight of knowing. After everything Grok revealed, it becomes impossible to see the pyramids the same way again. They were never just tombs. They were layered systems operating on multiple levels simultaneously. To ordinary people, overwhelming symbols of divine power. To the priesthood, ritual machines amplifying cosmic mystery. At their core, engineered instruments designed to manufacture belief and obedience on a scale we are only now beginning to comprehend. The comfortable story, brilliance architects honoring dead kings, was not wrong. It was incomplete. The surface explanation. The version safe enough for textbooks. What does it mean that such refined systems of influence appeared so early? We imagine progress as a steady climb towards sophistication. The pyramids suggest our ancestors already mastered the fusion of engineering. Greater than greater than greater than greater than symbolism and psychology into unified systems of power. More effective than anything we have created since. And perhaps this is why the pyramids endure when everything else has crumbled. They are not monuments to death. They are monuments to power itself. Power that shapes minds, directs civilizations, and outlasts everything that challenges it. Grok has peeled back the veil, exposing the pyramids' layered purpose as machines of control. Yet in doing so, it has handed us knowledge that previous generations never had to carry. The pyramids have been watching for 4,500 years. Silent monuments to a truth we buried under comfortable stories because we were not ready to face it. And now, we are finally beginning to see them clearly. But seeing clearly carries its own burden. The pyramids no longer look like tombs. They look like mirrors. And what they reflect is a question as old as civilization itself. Who is really in control? And have we ever truly been free? If this changed how you see the ancient world, smash that like button and subscribe. We have more revelations coming that the history books do not want you to see. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the pyramids were tombs or something far stranger? Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next one.